I've become accustomed to yesterday is that this is no longer a question of first three and then certain amounts of non-fastest automatic qualifiers. This is decided solely on times, and it's the fastest 14 from these three groups that will progress. There's the quickest woman in this heat, Geraldine Frey. 11:18 woman at best, 11:22 this year. And of course, she'll be also part of what inevitably will be a very good Swiss 4x100 meter squad. Bazelot. Over the years, we've seen quite a lot of her. Portuguese record holder. Rani Rosius of Belgium, 11:18 at best. And the Cypriot record holder, Livia Fotopoulou, 11:25 for Fotopoulou. So just to give you the full lineup, as we dived in a little bit quickly. Kemppainen of Finland, Chiloyan of Armenia, Montag of Germany, Frey Switzerland, Bazelot of Portugal, Rosius of Belgium, Fotopoulou Cyprus, Gasparelli on the outside in lane 9 for San Marino. Well, it was Frey who got the very good start, and now she's really starting to move away. Also, Kemppainen on the inside doing extremely well at this stage. Kemppainen just getting in front, but they're coming through very quickly over the final 20 metres. Rosius of Belgium. 11:20 for Rosius. That's certainly a season's best by a very large margin. Well, there's 17 women still to come in heats 2 and 3, but I think Rani Rosius has secured her place in the semi-finals without a doubt. That probably also applies to Geraldine Frey and Olivia Fotopoulou. Fotopoulou looked very pleased with that run as well. Season's best for her. Just scrolling down, Lotte Kemppainen, the Finn, gets a personal best by 1/100th of a second. So let's have a look at it again.
Yeah, terrific for Rani Rosius, of course. It was fabulous for her to get through to the World Indoor Final in Glasgow, where she was 6th, but really had to pour it on late in the race to come through on the likes of Frey and Kemppainen in the red and the blue, respectively.
And it was a very poor start as well from Rosius. Just looking at that replay, she was sitting in the blocks. The rest of the field were almost half a stride ahead of her before she reacted, but she came through so strongly in that final few meters.
Yeah, another athlete who's had, we talk about this with Charlene Morsley, good relay opportunities, and now individually really started to make good progress.
There's confirmation of the results. Rani Rosius, season's best, and only a couple of hundredths outside a personal best. Geraldine.
Yes, always big hopes for Finland in the javelin. Let's have a look at this second heat lineup in the women's 100-metre. Marie-Charlotte Gasteau, who has 5 national records for Monaco, although this distance isn't one of them. She's only a 10th off it, though. Delphine Nkansa, European under-23 200 champion last year. Leah Meyer was part of the quartet that won gold in the 4x1 relay 2 years ago in Munich. Of course, Gina Lukenkemper part of the quartet and won the individual and the relay, and she's one of those athletes, the 12 athletes who are seeded and go straight through to the semi-finals. And we're looking here at those trying to join them by qualifying through the heats. This is Anna Bongiorni of Italy, 11:27 at best. Something like that sort of time, or the 11.39 season's best that she's run this year would probably be enough. Some decent athletes in this field, but haven't necessarily run personal bests so far this year. In fact, only two of them have done so, Gaston and Tsukala of Greece, who's second from the inside, then Gandula of Portugal, Ilic of Serbia, former European under-20 silver medalist, then in cancer, in lane 6, the Belgian, Lisa Meyer, who we saw highlighted there, Anna Bongiorni of Italy, Maria Isabel Perez of Spain. So all based on time for these athletes relative to all three of the heats, not based down to positions as we typically see. So Gaston, Tsukala, Gandula, Ilic and Cancer, Meyer, Bongiorni and Perez in this second heat, and a late call back there. Didn't spot anything with the naked eye. Perhaps we'll have a look at the replay. Of course, we saw yesterday some reaction times come up. In the women's sprint hurdles, Klaudia Wojcicka of Poland was initially disqualified for a false start, but then after a protest reinstated and made the semi-finals, given a chance to rerun. So it's a similar situation in that Perez has been given that negative reaction time, but let's have another look. Another false start came the way of Meba Mikel Zeze of France in the men's 100 metres. And that also appeared to be quite early movement before the athletes were set, for example. Let's hope we get another close look at this. Perez, who was 6th in Munich. Let's have a look here. Yeah, just a little bit unsteady in the blocks. So it does appear to be a yellow card. And that's good to see. So Perez will just refocus and remain still in the blocks. So Lisa Meyer, the fastest athlete, both on personal best and indeed in 2024, in which she's run 11:19. And the German there, left a picture, goes in lane 7. We'll see who else might feature prominently in this race. Qualification based on time. And Cancer with a very strong start in the white vest of Belgium. Gandula also going well. Meyer coming through the centre now from Cancer though. And Bongiorni look to get third. 11:21 on the line, so very close to that season's best. And Meyer officially confirmed with 11.2 seconds, very, very close with Rani Rosius, the winner of the first heat. And Cancer also in a good spot. 7 more athletes to come in heat number 3. So that right-hand graphic sometimes shows time qualifiers behind the top few positions, but it shows everyone that has so far qualified on this occasion.
And as we can see on the replay, it was Cancer who started very, very quickly. Also doing well, Sakula during the first half of the race, but then there was no stopping Meyer. Lisa Meyer over the final 50 metres. just holding off the quick starting in Cancer. Maya, just 800ths outside of her personal best, so she'll be very pleased with that run. And these absolutely perfect conditions for sprinting. Warm, no breeze, just 0.4 meters per second on the back. And Lisa Meyer and Delphine in Cancer know that they've run fast enough, not even to be able to worry or watch the third heat coming up. Now move on to heat 3 of the women's 100 meters. Well, these women looking to work out whether they are going to be quick enough to go through and join the top sprinters. Well, they include the defending champion Gina Lukkenkemper. So we saw Poloniki Emadoulou of Greece, Amy Hunt coming back after a sensational teenage career, now 22 years of age. Still the world under 18 200 meters record holder. Julia Henriksson of Sweden, 11:19 she's improved to this year. Victoria Forster, Slovak Republic. I've seen Victoria Forster also over the barriers as well. She's a very good hurdler. Doubling up here. Rosalina Santos. And then Magdalena Linda. On the outside, Karolina Manasova of Czechia. So at the moment, you need to run faster than 11:35 to confirm your presence in the final. Top 14 at the moment. 14th cutoff place at the moment is 11:65. And they're away. Emadoulou has done very well on the inside. Also running well, the Portuguese runner Santos in the middle. But now Emadulou's pulling away. Hunt and Henriksson following her home. That's the 1, 2, 3. 11:21. So Emadoulou, Hunt and Henriksson, they've just run themselves into the semi-finals. Wait to confirm whether some of the other women in that race follow them as well to tomorrow evening's semi-finals. But no doubt at all, Emadoulou, Amy Hunt and Julia Henriksson have qualified with a relative amount of ease. And Emadoulou, despite looking very, very comfortable indeed, has equalled her personal best. So Emadoulou turns 21 later this month, just 20 years of age. So really bright talent coming from Greece.
Well, fantastic for Amy Hunt. She was initially named in the relay squad and then added to the 100 meters individually, I should say, as well. And she is having a great season. Obviously, she kind of broke through, really, when she was very young, 16, 17 years of age, running some fantastic times, around 11.3 for 100 meters. I remember in Loughborough, and then, as a result, on the fastest 200 meter times. And since then, been off to university, had a couple of injuries, but really is now transitioning well as a senior. Second place there.
So those are the results. Emadoulou equaling her personal best with 11:21. Followed home Amy Hunt, 11:26. There's the full list of qualifiers. Rani Rossius and Lisa Meyer, the winners of the first two heats, with 11:20, lead the way. And in the end, 11:45, Karolina Manasova from that heat, that third and final heat, getting her way through. There's the full list of competitors in the three heats in the first round of the women. Personal best of 196, and she's also jumping well outdoors.
So this should be a treat. We had the men's 100 meters last night and semi-finals followed by the final. Same routine for the women this time around, so nice that the two 100 finals get their own evening in the spotlight. Marcel Jacobs of Italy winning on home soil, of course, ahead of his teammate Chituru Ali. And we have some massive contenders in these semi-finals. I'll run you through them all in just a moment. We start off with Olivia Fotopoulou of Cyprus, 10 times national champion, joint national record holder as well. Rani Rosius having a good season, made the world indoor final, 11:18 at best. Amy Hunt, though, another with a brilliant 2024, really delivering on the promise that she made from the fantastic time she set as a 17-year-old. At one point, third fastest over 200 all time. Gina Lukenkemper, though, won the title in Munich 2 years ago when all three medalists were separated by 0.01 seconds. It really was a sprint final for the ages. Eva Svoboda, former European indoor champion over 60 meters, 15 times an individual Polish champion across indoors and outs. This is Geraldine Frey of Switzerland, personal best, 11:18 there from Lagenthal on home soil last year. Over to Polyniki Emanuelidou of Greece, the European under-23 bronze medalist from last year in Espoo. So many names stepping up to senior level from that competition. And Anna Bongiorni, bronze medalist here 2 years ago in the 4x1 relay. It was a sensational competition in Munich 2 years ago. Gina Lukenkemper. For some, that was a surprise, but we know that you have to be quite reluctant to use the word surprise and shock in athletics, because for someone who was backing the athlete all the way, for the person themselves who've put in so much hard work in training, for their coach who knows what they're capable of, it's never a surprise. In any case, she beat Mujinga Kambunji to gold. Dina Asher-Smith was in that race, pulled up. I've been suffering from cramp, but Lukenkemper did the business. As a result, comes in trying to defend her title. Up against Svoboda in this semi-final, who gets the better start, as you'd expect. Lukenkemper with a lot of work to do. Svoboda of Poland, away and clear now. Lukenkemper chasing her down for Germany, and does enough. 11:02 on the clock, and once again we're seeing some great times for a semi-final, setting up the story so nicely for what will be the final event of the evening, of course, when they race for medals. Amy Hunt was also a little way back there as we see the times come up officially. 11:06 for Lukenkemper. Amy Hunt getting third place, so obviously remains in contention with two non-automatic places available.
Yeah, that's a brilliant run from Svoboda. 11:02, comfortably winning her. She destroyed him over the first 20 metres. Lukenkemper comes through strongly, the German, a really great last 20 or 30 metres. Amy Hunt battled away there, worked really hard for that third place, and 11:13 for Hunt in third place gives her a great chance of getting into the final. Her personal best from back in April is only 11:12, so it's very nearly a PB for the Briton in third place.
Yeah, absolutely. One of those athletes who knew she had to run the race of her life, and pretty much did that when you consider the class of the likes of Svoboda and Lukenkemper as well.
Slava Mahuchik, after that clearance at 1:90 m, has decided to pass this height.
Well, we can head down to the track now for the second semi-final of the women's 100 metres. Dina Asher-Smith there goes in lane 5 for Great Britain, the 2018 champion, where she'll remember in Berlin she earned 3 gold medals, the Briton. Kempinen goes in lane 2, European Indoor Championship silver medalist back in 2021. 11:32 in her heat. Kempinen quite calm there. Back in 2021, she was Helsinki athlete of the year. 5 times national indoor champion. Good over 60 metres. That's possibly her stronger event. Watch her for a good start from lane 2. This is Maria Isabel Perez of Spain. 11.18 is her season's best. And a couple of years ago, ran 11.07, knocking on the door of sub-11-second territory. Only 11.41 in her heat, though. Rebecca Haase of Germany, the 31-year-old. She, too, very close to breaking 11 seconds. 11.07 she ran a month ago, and her lifetime best coming, can you believe, 7 years ago, is 11.06. So the German in 4, looking for a big run here. Dina Asher-Smith. Well, I think there's something about Dina this year that is like the old Dina. I think she's coming back towards her best. She's had injury problems and one or other 2 issues, change of coach over the last couple of years. But she's now in good form. Been around a long time. It's easy to forget that she was 5th in Rio back in 2016. Mujinga Kambunji, well, the Swiss is in fabulous form. And we know she is strong. 5 times a World Championship finalist, an Olympic finalist in Tokyo over 100 and 200 metres. There is Jemima Joseph of France, an Olympic Games finalist herself. 11.04 coming a couple of months ago. That's her lifetime best this year. She's in 7. Delphine Kanza of Belgium goes in lane 8. European under-23 champion over 200 metres. Best of 11.28. She may struggle in this sort of company. Look for her to come through late in the race. And in lane 9, completing the lineup, the Portuguese athlete Lorena Dorcas Bazzolo, 41 years old now. 11.24 though this year. Talk about a late developer. She was the flag bearer for Congo at the opening ceremony of the 2012 Olympics. Now a Portuguese citizen and proudly bearing their colours in lane 9. But Dina Asher-Smith, well, from Orpington in Kent, down in South London. Won Olympic bronze in Tokyo in the sprint relay. Sustained a hamstring injury. 100 metre, 200 metre and sprint relay gold from 2018, Asher-Smith. Kempinen 2, Perez 3, Haase 4, Asher-Smith in 5, Kambunji 6, Joseph 7 and Kanza 8, Bazzolo in 9. Asher-Smith against Kambunji is an interesting clash there. Kambunji in the red. Great start from Dina Asher-Smith. Brilliant out of the blocks. Well away from them. Joseph trying to come back at her. Are they coming back to her? Is she going away? Now she settles down and eases away. And that's a 1 metre win there from Joseph. Kambunji in 3rd place. Does not get an automatic qualifying spot. 10.97. That is a big, big run and a big, big exclamation mark. Asher-Smith. Not back to her best yet, but well on the way. And 10.97, well, that is the season's best. She ran in Eugene a couple of weeks ago, ran 10.98 there. Finished in 3rd place in the Diamond League meeting in the Pacific Northwest of the USA. She's come back and run a little bit quicker here tonight. And just checking the wind speed in that one from Asher-Smith. 10.96, in fact, she's credited with winning very comfortably indeed, Alex. That's a European lead, too, the fastest time by a European this year, taking over from her teammate, Daryl Nita.
And the wind is plus 0.3, so it's all okay. You did wonder, though, and you said it in commentary, is Kambunji going to try and come through, just as she did to win the 200-metre gold against Asher-Smith 2 years ago, but she held her nerve and looked strong, and she would hope that there's more to come in the final following that European lead time. If anything, the rain, though, also good practice for the UK trials in Manchester, which are bound to have similar weather.
You should know, you're from Manchester, Alex. Let's hope not. Whoa.
Emmanuelidou, I think she's just missed out on a place. Having a look at things there.
Dina Asher-Smith, 10.96. Joseph, 11.06. Personal best for Nkanza in 4th place, the Belgium with...
On to the 3rd women's 100-metre semi-final, and we've seen 2 athletes come in as replacements in this, although I noticed that one of them, who was expected to be in lane 2, Victoria Forster, isn't there. Instead, we start with Julia Henriksson big personal best this year, 11:19. Vari in Greece last month. This is Salome Cora, also improved this year. Equal PB, in fact, it was 11:12. Having previously been set in 2021. The Luxembourg record holder, Patricia van der Weyken. A lot of young athletes in this. She's 24 years of age. 60, 100, 200 and 4x1 national records, in fact, she holds. World indoor finalist as well. Zeno Dosso, also 24 years of age. Can she be motivated to run her fastest ever time like Chirturu Ali was in the men's 100 semi-final? Dosso, the world indoor bronze medalist. Julian Alfred and Emma Svoboda. Boglarka Takash, who's 22, 11:11 this year. Small margin of improvement on her personal best, which was 11:14. European under-23 silver medalist over both of the sprint distances. And Dimitra Sukala coming in as a replacement for Lea Meyer of Germany. Jennifer Montag, also of Germany, replaced. So quite interesting that they've had two athletes withdraw from this semi-final. And then Karolina Manasova, the Czech athlete, 11:26 at best. So she certainly would have to run her fastest ever time, you'd think, in order to make it through. Mujinga Kambunji being outside the top two. A little surprising there, but Amy Hunt also finished in third place in her semi-final, 11:13. So close to her personal best, couldn't ask for much more than that. Lots of concentrated faces here. Dosso trying to stop her eyes from looking anywhere else. So just the 7 athletes in this last of the semi-finals. Henriksen, Cora, van der Weyken, Dosso, Takash, Sukala and Manasova. Fingers crossed. Athletes set in their blocks. The last of the semi-finals of the women's 100 metres. Dosso gets away pretty well. Van der Weyken of Luxembourg trying to chase her down. Dosso still in front for Italy, charging her way towards the finish line. Van der Weyken closing. And the Luxembourg athlete is into the final, just as she was at the World Indoor Championships. And 11 seconds exactly. A personal best time, a national record, just as Dosso has done as well, by 100th of a second. Amy Hunt watching on. This could be close. Just the standard, though, to get through. And they've both done it, Kambunji and Hunt. Certainly big relief for Kambunji. Absolute delight for Amy Hunt to make a senior final. But what a result for an athlete from Luxembourg. We always try and give shout-outs to the smaller countries. I think we have competitors from 48 different nations. But this will be one of the most successful results from one of the smaller contingents.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. She really worked for that too, didn't she, Van der Weyken? Look at that, closing down on Dosso, working all the way through, dipped perfectly. That was textbook stuff. You could use that in coaching videos, frankly. Doesn't tighten up, leans nicely, and wins it by the tiniest of margins. Goodness me, it's really, really tight there. 11:00 to 11:01, both rewarded with national records and a place in the European final.
Yes, both breaking their own national records. And don't forget, 10.99 was the winning time in the final, but I think we're going to have to go faster in order to win. You can see Dina Asher-Smith, 10.96 European lead time from just a few moments ago. But Van der Weyken of Luxembourg, second fastest qualifier. Yes, again, an athlete knowing that she really has to produce. One on home soil, beating Mujinga Kambunji to gold. But all 3 medalists on that occasion were separated by 0.01 seconds. 10.99 the winning time. There was Asher-Smith. There is the stern face of Gina Lukenkemper. Kambunji then beat Asher-Smith to become the 200-metre champion in Munich And don't forget as well, coming into this, Ditaji Kambunji, the younger sister of Mujinga, already has a silver medal from the 100 hurdles. And in fact, Mujinga had to wait and see whether she would be one of the non-automatic time qualifiers to make it through. Not at her very best, but maybe we thought that Dina Asher-Smith wasn't her best. And she's had a difficult couple of years, but then Asher-Smith ran a European lead mark of 10.96 in the semi-final. Dina Asher-Smith is also the only athlete to go sub 10.9 seconds this millennium as a winner of this title. So many little facts and figures that we can throw out there, but ultimately it comes down to this short race on the track. Amy Hunt has done a fantastic job to make it 2 Brits in this final. She was only 1/100th of a second off her lifetime best in the semi, and yes, really delivering as a senior, having been incredible as a 16, 17-year-old. This is Jemima Joseph of France, improving to 11.04. But you just wonder what sort of time is going to be needed for a medal. Dina Asher-Smith then, also with that world title, don't forget, from 2019. It was a great couple of years for her when she tried to live with the incredible pace of the Jamaicans and Americans, which at times just isn't possible. Zainab Dosso, 11.01, broke her own national record in qualification. Eva Svoboda alongside her, always a rocket out of the blocks. She was so happy when she went sub-11 for the first time. Is that what's going to be needed to get on the podium? But Patricia van der Weyken, the first ever female track athlete from Luxembourg to make a European final. They've only ever won one medal in the 800 metres in 2006. To defend her title successfully, though, Gina Lukenkemper is really going to have to pull out the race of her life. And Mujinga Kambunji, you just wonder what she's capable of here. 200-metre gold was exactly what she wanted after years of near misses coming into Munich. Had been questions over the form of Dina Asher-Smith. And sometimes there's pressure on her, but in some ways she's earned that pressure, certainly by winning 3 golds. Coming into the European Championships, even if 2022 was a bit of a messy chance for her. Not the most straightforward year, but you never know what can happen in athletics. She talked afterwards about struggling with cramp, and sometimes you just have to deal with things that are a little bit outside of your control. The athletes will try and focus on what they can do and show off their world-class sprinting. Hunt, Joseph, Asher-Smith, Dosso, Svoboda, van der Weyken, Lukenkemper and Kambunji. But the recall gun goes, the athletes pick up on it straight away. Asher-Smith halfway down the straight inside the Stadio Olimpico. Don't know if you spotted anything there, Phil Minshall.
No, it's well, there's been a few issues over the course of the last 24 hours with the starting equipment. And just wondering whether the rain might have just got into it. It's pointing out Mujinga Kambunji. She's very close on the near side. But that looks as though it was quite a significant flyer. And she wouldn't have said that with the naked eye, though, although the machine isn't lying.
Now, we have sometimes seen very early movement there, but the athletes were set pretty much just there.
We've also seen quite a lot of yellow cards being proffered to athletes who ostensibly have got a flyer.
And one run under protest also from Wdowick, the Polish sprinter. Eva Svoboda perched on one of those very uncomfortable seats, makeshift seats anyway, the cone markers.
Gina Lucan Kemper, though, looking very relaxed, just swaying gently from side to side. She's not had the best of seasons, but she's still the defending champion for the next few minutes.
Is going to be another yellow card. Really interesting this, because we don't often see yellow cards, but a warning. We know it's going to go to Mujinga Kambundji, having seen that reaction time graphic pop up. And now confirmation of that disciplinary warning, so you can see immediately they're trying to reset and focus. But yeah, I know some people are thinking, hey, it's either a false start or it's not. And we saw that negative reaction time. But Mujinga Kambundji will run. Hunt, Joseph, Asher-Smith, Dosso, Svoboda, Van der Weyken, Lucan Kemper, and then Kambundji. With a bit of good fortune in this women's 100 final. So eyes on Asher-Smith, doesn't get the best start at all. In fact, it was very poor. Now starting to come through on Dosso, with Svoboda fighting as well. Asher-Smith by a narrow margin, but she does it. And what a look on her face. 10.99, the same winning time as Lucan Kemper in Munich. Well, Asher-Smith, she may have felt a bit of pressure. She was brilliant in the semi-final. She was faster in the semi-final. No matter, she's champion of Europe once again. Very, very close behind, though.
Yes, when we look at the replay, we'll see that Asher-Smith was very sluggish in the blocks. Had a lot of work to do over the second half of the race to overhaul the women who were so quick out of their blocks. Joseph and Dosso. It's Eva Svoboda who's given the verdict. 11.03, very, very close to her personal best. Dosso, and we can see on the monitors, is just 0.004 of a second between Svoboda and Dosso, the silver and bronze medalists. Dosso very quickly away. Was certainly the leader at 50 metres before Asher-Smith got into her running.
Oh, and Patricia van der Weyken, still fantastic for her to finish fourth for Luxembourg, but she is so close to becoming their first woman to ever win a medal at these championships. Maybe next time. And that's maybe perhaps what Dina Asher-Smith said when she pulled up during that final in Munich, which was sensational, so close between the medalists. Bigger margin this time. Asher-Smith wins by 0.04 of a second, but I think it was important for her to win an international title once again. 2018 and 2019, big breakthrough years, but done it again. Had to wait until 2024 to win European gold again.
Yes, and just 0.08 of a second, covering the first 6 women home. Asher-Smith, though, that super surge over the final 50 metres, just bringing her home in fine fashion to recapture the title that she had in 2018.
What do you think this means for her, Phil, going into the Olympics then as well?
Well, we've seen some super quick times from the Americans, the Jamaicans, and a few others as well. She's got a lot of work still. It could be a very different story once we get to the Olympics, but there's no doubt about it. Coming over from her US training base and winning a continental title, adding it to the one that she won in 2018. Yeah, no, that's going to be a great morale boost. She's not quite there to be on level terms, though, with the very best in the world.
I think the significance of that, Alex, as we see Asher-Smith's winning time 10.99 and so close, those top 6 times, remarkable. I think the fact is that she's back with a bang. She's European champion. Her confidence will get a massive boost. The Olympics 7 weeks away. It's exactly what she needs to project herself towards Paris. The Americans, the Jamaicans, they're coming. We'll know a lot more in a month's time when everybody's had their trials. But that was a big step forward. Back to the old Asher.
Absolutely, and exactly what she needs to remain in the headlines as well. in an Olympic year, and really pleased as well that she's decided to do the Europeans as well. We know not everybody has, but she was very, very keen to use a championship set of races in order to help her get up to speed. And Eva Svoboda, not just a 60-metre specialist, showing that she can do it over 100 metres as well. Delight for Zeynab Dosso, following 2 medals for Italy in the men's 100 last night. Jacobs from Ali, of course it was. Gina Luke and Kemp.